back to our new property. Luckily the soil on the road here is really sandy and gravelly, so we'll never have to worry about getting too greasy coming up here. Freaking spectacular country. Okay, here is the old abandoned, I assume it would have been a logger's cabin from way back in the day, probably turn of the century time period. And this thing's actually survived a forest fire. It's charred on the ends and a couple logs, but I mean, it's still, most of the logs are in pretty good shape. Take a look around here. Now the roof's all caved in. Take a peek in the side, but still a little old table and remnants of the cabinetry up in there. Here you can kind of see a bit more where the fire went through and charred the outside of the logs. And even on the shingles there a bit. Most of these logs are pretty solid, and you see something cool. Look at that. Original mud chinking from this cabin. Gaps are pretty tight actually. These logs, I'm imagine the ones that are buried underground are rotten, but actually most of them aren't in that bad a shape. Let's look at the joints on here, dovetail. And I was trying to figure out if these were cut by a saw or by an axe, and I'm 99% certain they're cut by a saw. See the end of it there. If that was an axe, that would have been cleaned off, but I can't tell if it was a circular saw or one of those ones that goes up and down, but that's pretty neat. If these logs are good and there's enough of them, I might see if we can pull it apart and kind of put it on some kind of basic foundation, get it rebuilt. Looks really cool. There's also a couple other, let's go check these other ones out. Now I think this guy here is an old barn. The logs look a lot worse on this one. Let's go take a look here. Let's go around. So this one's done a lot cruder. I think the other one is probably milled straight to do that dovetail cabin. These were just cut and notched right on site. These ones are pretty rotten. This might just be a firewood type deal. Let's take a look here. Other side. Holy man. Yeah, this whatever this was, I think it was a barn, is done. Now look at the size of that log. I don't know what this would have been, a Douglas fir maybe.
Yes, a Doug fir there.
Doug fir? Yeah.
Interesting, you can see the turn of the century house.
Yeah.
Still in better shape than this one that was built like
unbelievable.
20 years ago.
And then, yeah, this barn just collapsed. There's nothing left of it. Let's take a look at this one. So this is a newer building. You checked this one out, eh?
Yeah, I did. I was just commenting on, even though it's newer, it's in worse shape than the Homestead from 100 years ago.
So this one is definitely newer milled lumber. Someone had, yeah, these are post 1960 because those are real, or 3.5 by 1.5 size
Exactly.
2x4s. So
Yep.
yeah, this was probably an old cabin or something, I guess, eh?
Yeah, someone was living up here.
Yeah, this one's completely rotted. This one could get burnt down too.
Well, look at, I mean,
I guess you could use the barn board for something if you're a crafter.
I would say you could probably salvage some material out of here because it's here. But there's a lot of it just needs a torch. Like everything is just held together with glue.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is that 50s or 60s press board or whatever they used.
Particle board, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty rough shape in there.
But look at this little wildlife area. I was just listening to the birds here. It's just like such a nice zone, and then there's your.
Oh, there's the
water
pond down there. Oops. Let's see here, where are we? Right there's a little pond. If a guy dammed that up a little better, it'd probably hold a lot more water.
You'd have to dig it out.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what it's going to look
go
like
see the
in
creek.
summer for water.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of brush piles still, but they'll burn them. But the one nice thing, at least they left all the smaller trees and the non-merchable trees, so it's not completely leveled. They did a nice job of tidying this up for the most part.
Yeah, no, this is a really clean logging. This is great.
Yeah, they didn't even actually, like there's not stumps everywhere either. They pushed them out, I guess.
Well, they conventionally log.
There's a few stumps there.
They're low though.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. There's a nice little hill there. That's still on the north side of the property. I was actually worried you'd be able to see the power lines to the north, but you can't really see any of them. Terrain is just awesome. It's varied. That's really cool. The birds are out. It's a lot of cleanup to do, but something to chip away.
You know, if you walk through here with a chainsaw,
yeah, that's.
This would look like a different place altogether. Look at how much moisture is here, and these things love the water.
Yeah, so this is definitely a year-round creek, like they were saying. Let's go check that out.
Well, hopefully it is. There's water right below the ductwork.
Let's just see how wet we cannot get.
Yeah, I don't know what year-round part is.
I think it's probably through up
in the forest?
Yeah.
Where they left the...
Yeah, where there's some trees I seen on the Google Earth.
This is a little low for irrigation.
Yeah.
Irrigation help probably, but be a sweet pond.
Yeah, so there's the pond.
You could dam it all the way across there, right, and dig this out.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd
maybe
put a little. I think we'll put a little dam across there, dig the pond out, and then dig the creek out. I think this is a spring right here, Derek.
Yeah, it seems like. Well,
This,
there's water under that.
Yeah.
Road.
So this water here is flowing and it's coming out of the ground. It's not runoff.
It was also early in the spring, eh? It's like
yeah.
Runoff working for us.
So this is that north entrance road they were talking about. I don't know if I'd take a pickup up there.
Well, I think the north entrance is up there.
Is it? There may be two. Because there was one, an older one.
Yeah.
That I think this is the older one, but that's probably the new one from.
This is the new one. This one probably loops around and ties in.
Yeah. So.
And then there's a spur down there that they've.
Let's go.
This is a great.
This is cool, man. And then that this is one of the reasons why we like this place. There's an old pioneer's cabin on it, and they obviously picked the best spots to put their cabins. So.
Exactly.
That's probably where we'll end up putting ours, or rebuilding that one if it's salvageable.
I think if you took all those and combined them into one piece,
yeah, you could make one building.
You could make something pretty cool.
Let's just take a look here. And the one advantage of having the place logged is you can actually see the terrain of the land.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
This is awesome. Wow.
I like this.
Oh, I'm stoked.
And just a couple kilometers down the road, when you go to the south side of the mountain, it's dry as a bone.
Yeah.
And you would never dream this is up here.
Yeah, this is a little microclimate.
Yeah.
So nice.
So here we got looks like there's a few springs actually popping out of the hills up here.
Yeah, and don't forget this is spring.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of could be.
This would dry up.
This is likely going to dry up.
There's the trucks up there. Don't know if you can see the train, but it kind of drops off here. It's really cool. I like it. And now we're gonna go up there and check out what's up here. Here is the south and west side of the property there. It's got a nice access road and all the tall trees in the far background. That's all crown land, so that'll never get logged for a long time. This is going up looking north. Road goes all the way to the north end of the property, so we actually have pretty good access up there. All right, we got some pretty good sized creek or draw down in there. It's wet right now. It might not hold water all summer, but there's the road that we just walked up here. Big view of the mountains. Yeah, it's super cool up here. And then this is the road where they brought the skidder up, so we're just gonna keep heading up there.
Yeah.
All right, that's to the north of the property there. See those tall trees past where right up there are the crown land or public land. And all these little neat little folds are on the property we have. We're at the very highest corner, I believe, of the property here right now. I think those mountains to the south are actually the US, if I remember right.
Yeah, you can usually see the border cut in the trees. Cut it straight.
Yeah.
Keep it clear.
And cut around this way here. These little flags are kind of the timber markers showing where the edge of the property was, so when they cut it, they knew where to go. All right, here's another little bench on our way back down to the cabin. It's awesome. So we're sitting on pretty much solid rock here, and here's the edge of this other little piece on this, I guess, west side of the whaleback, and it goes. That's where it drops down to the pool. Let's go take a look over the edge here. Take a peek and.
Yeah, I guess that creek must just be down by the cabin. I think that's your water source.
Yeah, there's a few trickles here and there, but
yeah.
I wouldn't rely on them. Like this looks like it should have a pretty good flow in the spring.
So it's just a dry gulch.
Wow, this is cool. A big, yeah, a big dry gulch. That looks like if we tidied that up and had some grass in there, we should have a bunch of elk or something in there. Look at that.
It's awesome.
That's cool. That's cleared right out of that thick bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think we should walk that last far border.
the far border. Okay,
on
let's.
the other side of the gulch, because then if the
All
creek
right.
is anywhere, it might be over in the trees.
Yeah, when I was cruising the satellite, I actually thought it was this because the trees were so thick around it.
Yeah.
So it's probably wet, but it doesn't look like there's standing water
No.
or running water.
If there is a riparian zone, there will be trees still around it.
Yeah.
And I see a ribbon way over.
Yeah, I see
gully
one there. Yeah, it actually goes quite a ways up that side, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, right to the edge of the
To that tall, right to the edge of that,
tall stuff.
right at the top there. Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like the contour of this property here.
And it's nice how he's left all these pockets of immature.
Yeah.
Like he did a really good job.
I was based on the write-up. They said yes, clear cut means all trees are gone, but he actually left a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm beyond happy with how much is left here. Actually,
Yeah.
this is how I would have cleared it. Except for I would have left some big trees, but at least you can see things. You can get the grass going. Put a couple cows or horses out here.
Well, the logger had a mindfulness to the next owner.
Yeah, no,
See that.
I'm really happy with what he did. So, and the power lines are virtually not noticeable from most places on the property, so that's even another huge bonus.
And there's animal tracks.
Yeah, and there's animal deer tracks, maybe some elk, maybe those sheep are cruising here too.
Like they're kind of tiny, and some of them are.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. All right, let's go check this other side out
Yeah.
before I run out of energy.
Right.
Oh, sweet! Look what. Oh, nice. That's a nice mule deer there. Probably a 140-inch deer if it had both sides, but that's cool. That's the first shed we found.
Yeah.
That would have been in the thick forest back in the day too.
Back in the day, this was all like last.
Or like last year, yeah. That's probably a 2-year-old shed by the looks of it, at least.
Well, yeah, it's been I wouldn't guess.
It might be a bit older because it's bleached.
I think it's pretty old.
Like where we are, if we had a shed like that, it would be eaten by porcupines or mice or something like within 2 years. So, but there's probably not a whole lot of porcupines up here.
Doesn't evidently not judging by the shape of this thing.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
All right, we haven't even got to the bottom.
That's a legal buck in BC.
What's a legal buck have to be 4x4?
Yeah, 4 point.
Oh yeah, because they have the 3-point rule here. They had that in Alberta too, but all that ended up happening was monster 3-points were running everywhere, so they changed the rule.
That's what happens. It's like that.
It's just like sheep, yeah, and elk.
There's massive 5 points up where they've been hunting 6 points all for a decade or two.
Yeah, too bad they didn't have a better way that you could shoot a 5-point elk if the thing was like 18 years old.
Or just like I think bighorn sheep are the same problem too.
Yeah,
like
shame.
They get old and broom back past 3/4, and it's like he's gonna die of old age because he's never getting.
Yeah, and meanwhile a guy shoots a 4-year-old that makes full curl because he's got lamb tips.
Exactly, makes no sense.
No. All right, we'll just keep making our way to the bottom here. All right, here's I don't even know what you'd call this. Is this just a gulch or
Say it's just a little dry gulch.
just a little dry gulch, but they've cleaned the bottom out when they were skidding the logs, so we could actually drive the quads up here. This will be awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then this will go right up to the north of the property out into the crown land. Yeah, this will be really good. We'll get all this limbs tidied up a bit more as we work our way at it, but this is going to be a great property. The kids are going to love it here.
It'll just become soil in a few years too, right?
Yeah, it'll rot away on its own if we don't do anything with it.
You can help it along with a chainsaw.
Yeah. All
These
right.
things break down the best, like the aspen.
The aspen, yeah, the
cottonwoods
get wet and then just rot.
Yeah, they're like a cactus.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so this one you're saying he had to come in from 4 sides to grab this tree, eh?
I'd say.
This looks like it's a couple trees actually, or do you think it's just
two
split?
growing together. Yeah.
Wow, that is a big tree. Whoop. Kill myself
So you
here.
went undercut, back cut, undercut, back cut.
And that would have been with a feller buncher that
Yeah.
whacked that. So that's a big tree. If a feller buncher had to take a few whacks at it.
Yeah,
Oof.
probably a couple of them. I think if it was one tree, you could have done it all at once. But
Yeah. Wow. There's some big trees coming out of here.
dandies.
There is. We're getting close to the bottom corner here. See the pink ribbons on the south side through the bush, I think.
Having the video camera is a good call.
Okay, this is the south east piece of the property on the north side of the road. So right here it starts climbs way up the mountain there. This is another little draw, and then the cabin I guess is just over the top there. And here is what we're suspecting, maybe what they're calling the year-round creek. If it stays good all year, but it's flowing okay now, but it's only April, so have to see. But I think you could probably dam that up a couple spots maybe there, and maybe 2 or 3 spots up higher, and you could probably hold ponds here for most of the summer if you did it right. Mm-hmm. Especially if the groundwater is high. But there's a lot of aspen and birch and cottonwoods around too, so I think there is a lot of fairly high groundwater.
A lot of water. Like this zone wouldn't be like this if it dried up completely, or if the water was far.
And the soil's pretty sandy, so I think there's got to be pretty high groundwater. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad they left a lot of these trees. There's a few more they could have taken, but they chose to leave them, so huge bonus. We're not going to cut those down though, we'll leave those forever. So there's the pond, and that looks like it's fed by the runoff for a little spring. And there we go back up the hill on the backside again. Yeah, this is just cool. Lots of features on the land. Here's the old remnants again. Ooh, that's a big circle we did.
That was a big old circle.
Yeah, and there's the cabin. And here's those other buildings. So the old homesteader, I think, did find probably the best spot on this property. Originally, I was thinking actually down in this spot, but it's got too wet.
It's gonna be wet, and I think he built here because of the water.
Yeah, like that would make sense. If you're having to haul water, you want to be close to the source. So
Yeah.
it's funny that it doesn't flow like to more pockets and hold up, but we'll have to dig some of these out.
Yeah.
I think you could shape some of these creeks too a bit to filter into the pond and have a pretty good pool there. But yeah, this will be a bit too wet down in the bottom there.
Yeah, well, that was standing water in between, like those.
Yeah, those trees.
Right now.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where the hand dug well is.
Yeah. So this, oh, what's this little hole here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like an old landfill right here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tin tires and mountain junk.
Yeah, there'll be a garbage heap in here.
Yeah, there's I don't know, that doesn't really look like a well, but it's hard to say. They could have pushed over it too when they were logging. It's like these old remnants. They're kind of neat to see how they did things.
So cool. Yeah, it's interesting. This one's squared,
Yeah.
and that one's still round.
Yeah, I think that must have been the original cabin or barn. I'm guessing it was probably a barn and they lived in it and until they got the cabin built. But this one, well, there's the old stovepipe coming out.
Out the side, yeah.
But I wonder, I couldn't tell if this was sawn. I think these are sawn timbers. Like whether it's handsaw, but even the sides, I don't think they were hewn. Can you tell?
They look hewn.
Do they look hewn to you?
Yeah, look at this mark here.
Oh yeah.
And there.
Oh yeah.
They get that flat-sided axe, right? And you can
Yeah.
do a nice job of it.
Well, they did a heck of a job. If they hand hewed these, because these are straight,
Yeah, they're beauty.
and they probably
And
hand
the grain
sawed.
runs nice.
Yeah, and they have nice green. So what kind of wood do you think this is? Fir, probably.
I don't know. It's really quite hard. I would guess fir.
And then they used a handsaw or something to cut the ends square. You think?
Yeah, and I wonder what they did a nice job of their dovetails too.
Yeah, dovetail's really good.
Like really well done.
Like they're pretty tight.
They're tight and angled well. Like it's
Yeah.
quite an interesting angle, hey?
Yeah, I think the standard dovetail angle is 30 degrees,
Okay.
if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never noticed that. That's a pretty good job of hand hewing this flat, though. I thought these were like milled with a.
No, I think that someone came with one of those old axes and
Yeah, but you're right, because they would cut down like into it, and then they'd come.
yeah, you just stand on top and go.
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
that's smooth. If
Yeah.
that's all hand hewn, and you can see a few more spots where they struck a bit deep.
Yeah, totally.
But this one, actually, the top of that's a bit rotten there.
Yeah, the very tops.
Very
are
top's
gone.
rotten, but these ones, anything underneath the top's not bad.
Fir or larch, eh?
Yeah. I wonder if a guy could get enough out of this to take it apart and fix it. Or, you know, might have.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible at the right amount of time.
Yeah.
Like I say, somebody climbed up there with their pole spurs.
Yeah, or kicked out their fur boots, or it's a woodpecker.
You think it was a woodpecker being there?
No, not really.
And that banging around, that's that tin.
Tin.
That tin's got to be 50 years old too. See what they had on the roof originally here. Someone's obviously used this after the original guy left,
Oh yeah.
like a billion times.
Done.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting
Would
anyway.
have been a very neat spot when it was surrounded by
Yeah.
trees too, eh?
Yeah, and then turning around, there's where the vehicles. You know what? I think I'm gonna leave this cabin right here, or put a cabin, new one here.
Yeah.
This seems to be like the spot. Overlooks the water, overlooks the mountains. You got
That's beauty.
lots parking.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And once these big brush piles are gone,
Yeah.
there'll be a lot of flat land too, like graded, slightly side hill. But.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty really flat here. Like I can tell they spent some time. Whoever was here originally flattened this out because it's pretty flat right here. To the point where you don't have to struggle at all. So, wow, look at that. They went up the side of that hill right there with the cat or the feller bunch or whatever.
Yeah.
No, not for me, man.
Yeah.
That's steep.
Yeah, BC, they're just like, oh, that's just a bunny hill.
Yeah. No, for me, that's for a flatlander. That's frickin' not doable. Yeah, I think that'll be awesome once we get that going and build cabin again. All right, that's the end of our little walkabout on the property here. There's lots to do, lots to clean up, but it's pretty awesome terrain, and there's lots of firewood everywhere, so we won't have to worry about that. And I'm super happy these guys left a lot of these immature trees, and some of the bigger ones even too, that they couldn't sell for any kind of good money. So with all the roads they put in and everything, this actually worked out extra good in our benefit anyways. So super sunny and hot here though, so I think the summers are going to be pretty hot. We're pretty far south in the province, and I think the mountain across from us is actually in the US, if I remember right, but not 100% certain. Anyway, it's the end of this one.